Hi, I'm Ria Abraham,
And I'm Medha Sunkara,
and this is the Fast Breakdown.
your weekly women's hoops coverage.
Today, we'll be covering upcoming NCAA matchups, Unrivaled, and the CBA Moratorium.
So currently, there are actually only 3 unbeaten teams in the NCAA. So there's UConn, but the only ranked teams they have left are Notre Dame and Tennessee. Ria, what do you think about them going unbeaten, having a
I'm
33-0?
pretty sure they're going to make it through unbeaten through the season, since the Big East is not a super competitive conference. The people they're facing, Notre Dame and Tennessee, Notre Dame wasn't even ranked last week, so they're going to be probably pretty easy wins until the tournament.
And then we have Texas Tech as the next unranked team. They're obviously going against Iowa State, which currently just suffered its 4th consecutive loss. They don't look too good right now, so I think Texas Tech might be able to come up with a win there. But then their next 2 matchups are against TCU and Baylor, both teams which currently are coming out swinging right now. TCU with Olivia Miles and Baylor with Talia Scott. So I think we're going to have some pretty good games there. And I'm not too sure that Texas Tech is going to be able to keep a perfect record throughout the season. Vanderbilt has a lot of different ranked matchups coming up.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's in the SEC. They're definitely not making it through unbeaten. They've got Michigan, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Texas. They're going to miss definitely some of those. Very good team, but going against very good teams.
And I think obviously the most exciting thing that's currently happening right now is the midseason first and second team All-Americans being released. So first team is mostly non-negotiable. There's quite a few people here that would have probably stuck around to the end of the season. There's Lauren Betts at center, Michaela Blakes as guard, Madison Booker as a forward, Olivia Miles guard, and then Sarah Strong as forward. And I think the only person here that may be negotiable is Olivia Miles. Even though she's currently averaging about 19.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, 7.6 assists, a good field goal percentage of 52.4%. Her defensive game has taken a hit due to having so much of an offensive load. During their game with Utah, you could see her constantly getting lapped by her defender and losing sight of the people she was guarding. So she's definitely one to look out for to dropping to the second team. Their team also hasn't really gone against any ranked prospects other than NC State, and they lost a game against unranked Utah. So currently they're ones to watch to be falling out of the AP Top 10.
So on the second team, we have Audie Crooks, Joyce Edwards, Azzi Fudd, Rory Harmon, and Hannah Hidalgo predicted. I would say Hannah Hidalgo has a pretty firm hold of her spot. She's averaging crazy numbers, and she's been doing a lot for Notre Dame, even if Notre Dame isn't doing the best right now. They did just get back into the rankings as 23rd. Hopefully she can help them win some games and get a little higher on the rankings. About Rory Harmon, Texas is undeniably a very good team. But after watching the Texas versus LSU and the post-game conference, it seems as if Vic Schaefer doesn't have as much confidence in his team. And he did sit Rory Harmon out for the entirety of the fourth quarter, even though she has proven herself to be a very good player in previous games, because she was having a lot of turnovers in this game and he didn't let her play it out. Azzi Fudd has also been doing good, but again, on a stacked team. She definitely has people like Sarah Strong, who are very talented players, helping her out. She's currently averaging 17.6 points, but she's not averaging very many rebounds or assists.
I think when talking about Easy, the important thing to know is that she's averaging 50, 50, 100, which are insane shooting splits. Has never been done before by a guard if she continues it. So definitely something to look out for and to keep in track. But yeah, she's definitely not having such a key role on her team as she has Sarah Strong to carry a lot of the offensive load. She has Blanca Quinones. She's a lot of players that can help her. But I think once March comes around, we will be able to see the Easy that was in the Final Four last year that won MLP.
Yes. And then we have Joyce Edwards, I think, is going to get this spot. She's doing a lot for South Carolina, averaging 20.7 points, 6.3 rebounds. Now, Audie Crooks. Audie Crooks has been having some really good games, really high numbers on the offensive side, but her defense is not been anything remarkable. And with Addie Brown and Ariana Jackson, two Iowa State starters, out injured, Iowa State hasn't been able to succeed as much. There have been close games, but Iowa State is currently on a 4-game losing streak, and if this continues, Audie Crooks' spot on the second team could be in jeopardy. Now we want to talk about some matchups that are coming up. So on Sunday, we have Ole Miss versus Georgia. Ole Miss is ranked 16, Georgia is unranked. This is a rematch after they played on Jan 1st, which Georgia did lose by 17. But other than the third quarter, this was a very close game. In the first, after at halftime, the score was 33-34. Georgia was only down by one. And in the fourth quarter, they did play well, but it was just the amount that they lost in the third quarter was just something they couldn't come back from, but this could be a very good game.
And again, the next matchup is number 19, Iowa State versus Oklahoma State. Funny thing, ESPN actually has Oklahoma State winning this game. Iowa State has been on a 4-game losing streak, and I don't see why that doesn't continue with a pretty decent Oklahoma State team. They're again down 2 starters, and unless Addie Brown comes back anytime soon, I don't see them winning this game.
Then we have number 9 Louisville versus NC State and number 20 Tennessee versus 21 Alabama. NC State has fallen out of the rankings. They were ranked at the beginning of the season. They are now unranked, but they are still a team that could come back. I do think Louisville will take this game, but it could be a good match. For number 20 Tennessee versus 21 Alabama, I think this is definitely going to be a very good game. Alabama just came into the rankings. They were unranked when they beat number 7 Kentucky at the time. And so this is definitely going to be a close matchup, Tennessee versus Alabama.
Next, we have number 6 LSU versus 13 Oklahoma. Both of these teams have been beaten by Kentucky, LSU 2 weeks ago, and then Oklahoma most recently, causing Oklahoma to be knocked from number 6, which is what LSU is currently, to number 13. I think this is going to be a really close matchup. Obviously, both of them. LSU has Mylasia Fulwiley, Flau'jae Johnson, and again, Flau'jae didn't really show up in their last game versus Kentucky. She had 0 points, and if she even takes on a little bit of the offensive load, I believe that they're able to win this game, even against Alia Chavez, who is, again, really strong 49% three-point shooter. She's got everything, and she's great for this Oklahoma team. But I think LSU has too many good pieces to really give up this loss.
And then we have Michigan State, number 15, against number 11, Iowa. These teams are averaging very close numbers. Michigan State 50% field goal percentage, Iowa State 49. Michigan State's averaging 37.9 rebounds to Iowa State's 42.6. And overall, they are a very evenly matched team.
And then moving on to 12, Maryland versus 3, UCLA. UCLA has had a few close games. With Ohio State, they won by merely 7 points. So really, this can be any man's game. But I believe UCLA, with their seniority, they'll take this win and go on to really only have 1 or 2 losses throughout the season. Again, they're in a really hard conference, Big Ten. It's one of the most competitive conferences, just right behind SEC. But I think they will pull out this win and kind of go on to be almost undefeated despite their 1 loss with Texas. And then on Monday, we have, again, a pretty decent slate of games. We have 10 TCU versus 14 Ohio State. I think this one is going to end in an upset. I don't see TCU winning this game. Uh, every They haven't really won against a ranked opponent yet, and they've lost against unranked and had really close games with unranked opponents. Ohio State has had several, and I just believe that with Jillian Cambridge running the show, that they're just going to have a stronger defense, offense, and they're going to be able to overtake TCU and give them their second loss of the season.
And then also on Monday, we have number 5 Vanderbilt going against number 8 Michigan. I think Vanderbilt is going to win this, but ESPN actually has given Michigan a 67.4% chance of winning this match. And so Vanderbilt's star player is Michaela Blakes, who was again on the predicted first team. And I think that this game is definitely going to go very close. I think Vanderbilt is going to win it. Is still unbeaten again. And their closest game recently was against LSU, which they did beat LSU by 4 points. Michigan, on the other hand, has had a couple losses this season, one of them to Washington, who is now unranked after having just fallen from being 23rd. So I do think Vanderbilt will
One of their losses, though, the one they had against UConn, where they lost by merely 2 points. And honestly, it was a pretty great showing from Silas Swords, who proved that she can work in clutch time. And of course, this matchup really does depend on her being healthy and her being there to carry the team to this win. But if we look at their loss with UConn, it was an extremely close game and everyone was healthy. And I think we can expect the same thing to happen here if she is there.
Yeah, definitely. If Silas Swords does come back from being injured, this could be a very different game. And then now moving on to Thursday, there is a matchup between 11 Iowa and number 12 Maryland, and then number 7 Kentucky versus number 20 Tennessee. I'm going to predict that Maryland will win the first match and Kentucky will win the second match.
And I think, again, we have number 2 South Carolina versus 13 Oklahoma. I personally believe this is going to go to South Carolina. Oklahoma, again, has been on a 2-game losing streak. While they're really good, I think South Carolina just has more veteran experience. And again, Dawn Staley is really just an amazing coach, and I think she'll be able to help them through this one. And we have now unranked USC versus 15 Michigan State. I just thought this was a good one to put here because really we don't know if Kennedy Smith is going to come back for USC. We've really seen how they've fallen apart since she's been out. They've suffered consecutive losses again. And even though Jazzy Davidson leads in nearly every single statistical category, Kennedy's impact cannot be denied, and we really just need to see whether she comes back for this Thursday game and whether they can get themselves back on the AP top 25 rankings. Let's shift to a topic that I feel not many people have clarity on right now. A lot of people are asking, is there gonna be a season next year in the year of 2026? Like, will we see Caitlin Clark playing basketball again? And honestly, this is a really good question. The CBA deadline has currently been extended 2 times already, and finally on Monday they reached a moratorium, which was necessary because both sides couldn't actually reach a deal based on what the WNPA wanted and what the WNBA wanted. So the moratorium issued basically prevented teams from issuing core designations, and this is just there to prevent players from agreeing to contracts under the old expiring CBA, which the salaries were pretty bad under that CBA, and they're hoping to increase them exponentially.
Yeah, currently the average salary for WNBA players is approximately $102,000, which is very little considering the growth of the league recently. Their minimum salary for rookies is around $66,000. So this is what the pay that players like Sonia Citron and Paige Beckers are getting right now. And the maximum salary is only $250,000. So what they've been asking for is a better share of the revenue. Currently, what we've heard is that the WNBPA, which is the Players Association, is asking for 30% of the gross revenue, whereas the league instead looks at net revenue and has been not agreeing to this terms. They're also asking for guaranteed housing, transportation, and improved benefits like parental leave, while also asking for a bigger share of the money as the league continues to grow.
And I think one thing is that although it's great that they're giving the opportunities for these free agents to wait until we have a new CBA, I think ticket sales are really being affected by this. The Dallas Wings last year, all their season tickets were sold out. They knew Paige Beckers was coming to town. It was great. And now their season tickets have not sold out, even though they know the production she comes and guarantees. And a lot of this is just surrounding, is there going to be a season next year? And I think until we get that clarified, we won't know how much growth will be seen this year. And again, really looking at leagues such as Unrivaled to sustain us until they come to a collective bargaining agreement, and that could be in days, could be in months. Hopefully, it doesn't go beyond training camp because that's when the season really starts to get affected. But again, free agency is one of the most crucial parts of the WNBA. Super exciting every single season. A lot of players move. And this season, we just haven't seen it because of the CBA. And I really hope crucial players like Arike from the Dallas Wings, are they going to get moved? Are they going to stay? They really affect the championship chances for nearly every single team. We know people that don't want to stay. We know people that do want to stay, but can they move until the CBA is negotiated upon? That's the real question
Yeah.
here.
For example, the Phoenix Mercury, who were made it to the championship game this year, they had nearly all of their team not coming back. They had an entirely different look at things than they did last year since they acquired so many players during free agency. So when we don't know where players are going to be, you can't really tell how the season is going to play out.
Yeah, and again, a lot of viewers of the WNBA just don't know this, and because of that, we're not able to predict the growth of the league this season. But definitely hoping to see a surge. Caitlin's going to be back this year. Hopefully, no more injuries. But again, until the CBA is negotiated upon, there is no certainty for this league.
Certainty. While the WNBA CBA is still being negotiated, we do have Unrivaled, which after signing a 6-year media deal does not seem to be going anywhere.
Again, we have the numbers from the viewership this year on TNT and True TV. The games averaged around 139,000 viewers on January 9th. And that's a really big step down from the first season where the league averaged 221,000 viewers across TNT. I mean, it did include playoff numbers, but still, this is an enormous 60% drop off. And we're really seeing this drop off. A lot of people are blaming it on the league's new star, Paige Beckers, who's coming in and she's making a show of it. She's doing really good. But people are claiming this her star power is not really enough to propel this league to the next level or even sustain its viewership from last year.
Yeah, there have been a lot of stars who have left Unrivaled after the first season, some due to injuries and some due to other commitments. For example, Sabrina Ionescu, Nafisa Collier, Skylar Diggins, Kayla McBride are all players who did not return for season 2, as well as Angel Reese. And from the people who won awards last year, first team on All Unrivaled, second team All Unrivaled, Defensive Player of the Year, and Most Valuable Player, there are only 2 people on those list who are still playing right now, which would be Chelsea Gray and Ryan Howard. Chelsea Gray, who's definitely having a big impact, but considering the loss of all these star players, it's a little understandable that the viewership has dipped. But that it dipped this significantly was not something that could have been predicted.
Right, and for Unrivaled, it's really important that they keep their viewership up. They're on again on a nine-figure media deal, and it's really important that they keep their viewership at least to what it was in their inaugural season. And a lot of that, again, does depend on star power. But I don't think one player is solely the reason of this league. Again, if Angel Reese was there, would it have been more popular? Probably. I mean, she has 5 million Instagram followers, millions of TikTok followers. She brings in a different audience than what Paige Beckers brings, than what other players bring. But again, she's not there, so now we have to rely on the star power of the people that are currently in the league. Looking for Chelsea Gray's standout performances, she's currently averaging 31.7 points per game. I mean, that's enough to keep anyone in. And we have standout performances from people like Jerica Hamby, who just broke the unrivaled scoring record of 40 points. And we just have all these performances, and I think the 3-on-3 format, even with these standout performances, isn't drawing people in like it should be. And that has to change soon, or else Unrivaled will no longer be sustainable to for future years.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about the Unrivaled teams. So I want to start with talking about the Lunar Owls. The Lunar
Yeah, who's your
Owls.
favorite team? Who's your dark horse team, your underdog team?
My favorite team is the Hive. I know they're currently not winning any games, but I see a lot of potential in them. For considering for example, I saw the end of the Breeze Hive game, and that game, while the Breeze did take it, the Hive had a huge comeback, and they were playing really well at the end of the game. I think I see a lot of potential in the Hive. They have amazing players: Kelsey Mitchell, Sonia Citron, um, Monique Billings, people like that who definitely have the potential to take this team to great places, but currently they need to work on their chemistry and just making sure their shot falls because they've really been struggling with the 3 lately, especially. What's your
And
favorite?
then, when we think about the Hive also, the only person returning is currently Natisha Hiedeman, and I believe the players, especially Kelsey Mitchell, she's a dog, she just gotta get used to the format, she's gotta get used to playing 3-on-3 basketball, which is not something that she's really been experienced with.
Most of these players.
Again, I think my dark horse underdog team, I don't know if they're really underdog anymore, they're 2-1, but it's the Phantom. Ever since losing to the Breeze, at first, they've done really good. Kelsey Plum with her 38-point performance. I think they've really got it together and they've really had the pieces to be a good team that makes the playoffs, which is only currently 4 teams right now, so about a 50% chance of making them. But yeah, I think that they're my underdog team. The Rose are looking really good still. I think they're set to repeat. I don't know. No one's stopping Chelsea Gray right now. They're not even back at full strength. They have Cock Hopper coming back. They're just crazy, man. Like, I don't know. I think I still see them repeating. They did have a bit of a lapse with the Breeze. They were down at halftime. They managed to pull out the win. Obviously, they have very experienced players, but they're dogs, man.
I think the Breeze could definitely give them a run for their money. We definitely saw that in this match, and I think going forward with the Breeze being such new players, they're getting a lot of experience and they're improving a lot, like, by the day, whereas the Rose has a lot of experienced players. So I think the Breeze, once we get later in the season, I think they definitely could beat the Rose. We definitely saw that, but I think they could actually pull off the win the next time they meet. And okay, I want to talk about the Lunar Owls. I think it's really interesting how a team that was number one going into the playoffs, they had the best record, and currently they're sitting with no wins. And I think the main reason is because they need a third person who can get points on the board. We have Marina Mabrey and Aaliyah Edwards who are putting up insane numbers every night. And then we just, because Skylar Diggins is on the bench, Nafisa Collar's on the bench, injured, and the rest of the team is not really giving them what they need to win. And they're just not getting enough points. It makes me sad. I just love them so much. And I want
I
them
think it definitely Banham and Allen. We saw them on the Chicago Sky last year. They weren't really the backcourt everyone was expecting them to be, and I don't really see them change.
And so we did have Temi Benley come on to replace Defisa Collier, Temi Benley, who is recently playing on the Valkyries. And I'm just wondering where they got Temi Benley from because she's not in the developmental pool or anything, and we don't really have a lot of information on, how that agreement was made. Because I would have assumed that if a player got injured, they were under the limit that they would have pulled from the developmental pool, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I actually really like that dev pool that they've created good social media content. All of them are pretty rising stars. We have Isaiah James, Haley Jones,
Temi
um
Van Lith,
Haley Van Lith.
Alia Huxley.
Who are the other two? I forgot.
That's it, no? Four.
There's five. There's six. Wait, am I tripping? I swear to God, there's six.
I think so. These are the people who showed up to a game. They're all at a game together. Um, Letitia Amahir and Michaela Timpson.
Yeah. Some great rookies from last year showing up. And Haley Van Lith, actually, she's a champion in the 3x3 format. I'm excited to see her when someone, I mean, I obviously don't want anyone to get injured, but like if someone does, she's definitely going to be a dog in this format. She was on 3x3 team with Cam Brink, and she's pretty good. She's a champion. I think she's going to be good in this format, even if she wasn't too great last year in her rookie year. I think she really has potential to be amazing here. I'm excited to watch her and again all the players in the dev pool, and I hope they get some playing time.
So let's talk about the Mist. So the Mist do have a lot of really good players, right? They've got Brianna Stewart, Lana Smith, Leah Rue, Alicia Gray, Veronica Burton, Arike Gunbowale.
You know this team is good when Alicia Gray is not a starter. It's crazy.
Yeah,
She's
definitely.
literally on the Olympic team.
Yeah. So the Mist are current. Wait, what's your record?
2-1.
2-1. They lose against the Laces. They lost against the Laces, I think. Okay. Now the Vinyl are currently 1-2. They made it to the championship last year when we lost to the Rose, but they currently have only won one game. So that's a little concerning when we look at it. But they have definitely been close games. All the
Their
games.
strength of schedule, I mean, who'd they go against?
Uh,
Laces, Miss,
yeah,
yeah. Those are
the
those are hard.
Rose. Yeah, so they still do have a positive differential. So considering all the points that they have scored and all the points that their opponents scored, they have scored 5 more points. So they are still in the positive range. The only two teams who are in the negatives are the Hive and the Lunar Owls. The Hive at -50 and the Lunar Owls at -64. Every other team is in the positive.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Okay, early playoff predictions. Who do we think is going to go to the playoffs? Okay, two locks. I think the Rose definitely.
yeah.
Breeze. I think
The
they're
Breeze.
definitely going to go.
I think the Breeze are a lock.
And then Mist. I think Mist is going to be. And then I think the Laces are going to be the final pick. Phantom has a chance too. I think between the
Yeah.
Phantom and I don't know. I think the Phantom have a chance. Kelsey Plum, she's really good.
Yeah.
I think that definitely have a
Lizzie
chance.
Plum has on days and off days. Most days she's on, but like we saw her in the Breeze game not doing as much as she needed to for them to win that game, and she definitely can't carry it. They have a lot of good players, Kiki FM and all of them, but
Talia Boston, she's been doing
Leah
amazing.
Boston, yeah. For my playoff predictions, I'm gonna say Rose and Breeze again. And then I'm gonna say the vinyl and
They have
then
Ryan Howard. I mean, you can never rule out a
yeah,
Ryan Howard team.
Dearica Hamby. I think the vinyl can definitely make it to the playoffs again. And then I'm gonna go with the Mist. Yeah, the Mist are solid.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid choice. You can't really go wrong with the Mist.
Yeah.
I mean, if again, Enrique, I mean, personally, I was a little surprised that Enrique starting over Alicia Gray. I'm not really sure what the coach's decision. Alicia Gray has proven to be an amazing player, and I mean, Enrique is too. But I think, especially based on the last WNBA season, Alicia Gray first
Need
team
to
All
be
W
more
is
consistent.
great.
And talking about The Mist, I wanna talk about Veronica Burton, okay? I really need Veronica Burton to keep making all of her free throws because there is a free throw challenge where you submit a player who you think is gonna have the highest free throw percentage by.
Yeah, Ria was just stat watching. She was looking at the person with the highest free throw
No, that's
percentage
not what I did. That
instead
is
of going
not
off
what I
her
did.
intuition. Yeah, she did.
Okay, so I picked a player that I thought would have the highest free throw percentage, okay? And I picked Veronica Burton, and if it's the same free throw percentage, it's based on who has the most free throws, made. Yeah. So anyway, I picked Veronica Burton. She is currently tied for second. The only person in ahead of her would be Paige
Hey,
Beckers. So we do need to manifest.
Paige Gilgeous Alexander, bro. She's gonna win. She's
We
trying to foul
do
rape.
need to manifest Paige missing a free throw. So if everyone could do that for me, that would be really great. Thank you so much. Veronica Burton, keep doing your thing, keeping those free throws. She had a game where she had 0 free throws, so I need people to foul her.
No, yeah, we gotta follow her. But I have Paige winning. I think she's gonna be Paige Gilgeous Alexander and pull off the
Oh,
win. We'll
okay.
see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. I mean, you obviously know as basketball fanatics that don't actually play basketball, but I think that we gotta know each other otherwise. So, we're gonna go. What's our favorite sport that's not basketball? And then I'll go first. I think for me, I was a gymnastics person. I did gymnastics when I was younger. I really enjoy watching it. I'm a really big fan. But I would have to say ice skating, actually figure skating would take my number one right now. Watching Alyssa Liu currently in the Winter Olympics and seeing all those free skates. I was really obsessed with all the storylines there, and ice skating is just such a compelling sport. So that's definitely going to be mine. What about you, Ria?
So I have a few favorites other than basketball. So some leagues I really like to watch are the NWSL, which is the U.S. Women's Soccer League, the PWHL, which is women's ice hockey, and then I also really like watching volleyball. So I've been watching the NCAA tournament for volleyball recently. My favorite team.
Ria's a NARP, so people obviously like look at her and go like, "Why is she following all these leagues?" I mean, we're all NARPs. Me and her both NARPs, but like, it's funny because she follows all the leagues and then she tells everyone that actually plays the sports, like, "This is what's happening," and they're like, "Bro, what? Like, how do you know this, bro?
Okay,
Like,
no,
what
I
is
talk to
happening?"
people who are very invested and they're very supportive of me watching these sports. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they're very supportive. It's pretty funny too. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. This is our first episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have anything you want us to cover or any comments you want to leave, feel free to do so.